Okay, so we've got our 5 envelopes here. So we're going to start opening on the left, okay, and we're going to score this at 7 inches, okay. So I'm going to score on both sides because this is craft, but it's a little on the thicker side. So I'm going to score at 7 on both sides, opening at the top. This is going to make our spine. So we're going to do 2 like that with 7 and 7. Take your time because sometimes when it's super thick it wants to jump the track. Okay, now on the next one we are going to have the opening on the left, and let's see, this one's not quite as big as the ones they were using, so I think I'm going to, they scored at 4 and a 5, it was 9 inches, so if I do 4 and a 5, my back is going to be a little bit short maybe. Let's see. I'm just going to put a little mark there, turn it around and see where the 4 is. Oh, well, I need to turn it around and see where the 5 is. The 5 is there. It's too short. So, excuse me, I don't know what is wrong with me today. I'm going to, with this opening on the side, I'm going to score at 4 and an 1/8. Is that, no, that's going to take up more, isn't it? 5 and an 1/8. I want 4 here. So I want to go back an 1/8. So I want to do 3 and 7/8. Sorry guys. 3 and 7/8. And 4 and 7/8. I'd rather have the back a little bit bigger. I'm going to flip this over and do 3 and 7/8. And 4 and 7/8. And there again, depending on what envelope you're using, basically you want a 1-inch spine in the middle. So you just want to work that out. So I'm going to fold this up, making sure that it's aligned, and flatten that out. And do the same on this side. Get that lined up. It's slightly off, but I can fix that here. Not all envelopes are created equal. Alright. So 1-inch spine. And you can decide whether you want the opening on the left or the right. I heard someone say the other day that when they're looking at a book, your eye focuses on this side more often. So I'll probably put my opening on here on this side, and then I'll probably cut a slit on that side and do a little divot and have an opening on that side. So there we go. All right, so there's our center section. Now we have 2 more. Now what are we going to do with these? Well, we are going to score these at 5 and a 1/2, and then we're going to cut off the last 2 inches. So let's do 5 and a 1/2, opening on the left, 5 and a 1/2, flip it over, 5 and a 1/2. All right, opening on the left, 5 and a 1/2. Flip it over, 5 and a 1/2. All right, so that's it for the scoring at the moment. I'm going to get my cutting blade here, and we are going to trim off, not the opening side, but the bottom side. We're going to trim off 2 inches. Okay. So you could do more if you wanted, but we want this to be about I think that ends up being about 1.5 inches. So 2 inches is a good size. So we want to do 2 inches. Save that. And 2 inches. Save that. All right. So I'm going to bring my, what you call it here, envelope punch board. Because these are, let's see, these are, well, they're about they're like between 3 3/4 and 3 7/8. It's not exact. I'm going to go with the 3 3/4 and say 1 7/8 for punching, because I think that looks just about right. Maybe I'll go over half, but I don't think anyone's going to measure that. So I'm going to go over to 1 7/8 and just take more. Okay, so now we have a couple of pockets there. And get rid of my board. We're going to, they didn't do this on the video or in the instructions, but I found that if I did not glue at least the edge here, I had a lot of puckering. So I'm going to glue this shut and hope that that helps. Get the glue to the bottom, just along the edge. You don't need it because it's going to be in the spine, but I'm hoping that will help me with that puckering issue. So I'm just gluing that down. Repeat with this one. Go. Use my bone folder to make sure that's spread out properly. Looks like I got a little bit too much glue, but that's okay. I'll rub right off. It's very dry here, and I've noticed I have a dry cough come back. Happens in the summer. I'm drinking water like crazy, but alright, so I'm folding that over like so, and same thing with this one. Okay, and this is going to be glued together, so I'm just going to put glue on this little flap, which did end up being about 1 3/8 inches. Okay, I'm going to put this piece on top, and I am going to fold this flat so that I can make sure that I line up these long edges. And just rub that down. Making sure we're all the way over. There we go. Okay, so that's our middle section. You can see this one's going to fit inside here. And then we have our outside section, so we're just going to fold that up, burnish it, fold this up, and burnish it. And then we're going to repeat the same for this. I'm putting right over left so that I have the folded piece on the front of the journal, but I don't really think it matters because I'm going to be putting something over the top of it. So Okay. Lay that in there. You don't want to go past that fold, so I'll line that back up on the edge. Just lining up these top and bottom, because otherwise it's going to open out crooked. So okay, so there we go. We've got our outside section, we've got our inside section, and this is what I mean here. See, we have this join here. This is all going to get covered up, so it's not a big deal, but I just have it set like this. So this, we're going to take this, and we're going to take this, and we're going to put this right in the middle of that. So we're going to just adhere the spine. I really need to put acetone. What did I do with my acetone? I left the lid off overnight, and that happens. I'm having to squeeze super hard to get this out because it is thick and sticky. Okay, so I'm just going to center this between those two score lines and lay that down there again, checking top and bottom to make sure that this looks like it needs to go over just a smidge. Double check on the other side. Yeah, we're good. And making sure that that is lined up. Okay, and then we repeat with the smaller piece. And like I said, so then I will have these three openings here in the back, but this will be different. This piece in the front will be have that opening. In fact, I should probably do that now. That would be easier. I don't know if that's how they did it in the video, but I'm not going to copy it, you know, exactly. I just like the idea of the way it was put together with the envelopes. So let's get that punch out. What did we say? 1 7/8 and a smidge. Yeah. Oh goodness, that was thicker because of the flap. I wasn't prepared. Okay, so we are going to glue this one to the center. Okay, same thing. Try to go between those score lines, and you guys probably cannot see what I'm seeing, but you get the idea. Okay, so there we have it. This is the main structure of the album. And because of the way it's put together, I'm thinking if I was to do this again, I might do a smaller spine because this ends up being about 1 inch. So I'm just going to use that space for putting my journal. And of course this is going to be horizontal, as you can see. And then when I do this one, and I need to play with the measurements on this, I'll go ahead and record it. If you want to see it, let me know. If not, but I'm going to play with the measurements on this one because it's going to end up being, and this is even thicker than the envelopes, it feels like, but this is going to end up being taller. Yeah, so this will be coming up that high. And I'm not sure that I want this one to be 7 inches wide, so I may modify that. Maybe make a pocket flip. I don't know, but I'll let you know. All right, so that's our foundation, and we'll get back together next time and start decorating. Thanks for watching.